saying the same thing.
Oh, there he is.
Ladies and gentlemen, please silence all cell phones and other electronic devices for the duration of this ceremony. In consideration of those around you, we ask that you please remain seated and in the bleachers during the ceremony until all soldiers have passed the relieving stand and the conclusion of the ceremony is announced. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the Commanding General, Major General Darrell Hood, and the Post Command Sergeant Major, Command Sergeant Major Eric Oakes, welcome to the United States Army Training Center and Fort Jackson for the retirement review of one soldier and the graduations of companies A, B, C, D, and E from the 3rd Battalion, 13th Infantry Regiment of the 193rd Infantry Brigade. Please stand for the invocation given by Chaplain Jason Seaman.
Let us pray. Almighty God, thank you for this day that you've given us to come together to witness and celebrate the graduation of these new soldiers from basic combat training. We are grateful for these men and women before us on this field who have made a commitment to serve this great country as soldiers in the United States Army. Thank you for the skills, knowledge, and experience they have gained here in these past 10 weeks. And for all the drill sergeants, command teams, and staff who have worked hard to provide them with the highest quality of training possible. I pray that you would richly bless all our cadre and their families as they continue to invest in the future of our Army. Thank you also for the family and friends who have provided these graduates with love and support that has seen them through to this day, and for those who are able to be here to celebrate with them. As these new soldiers graduate and leave here to begin the next phase of their Army training career, I ask that you watch over and guide each one of them. Grant them courageous hearts, wise minds, and will to do what is always right. May they always serve with honor and integrity and learn to thrive even in the most difficult of circumstances. Ask now that your divine presence and blessing would be upon this ceremony and upon all that are here today. Amen.
Please be seated. The purpose of today's ceremony is to recognize the commitment of the men and women you see here who have chosen to serve their country as soldiers. This review is the last official formation in the careers of one lifelong soldier and for our newest soldiers. Not everyone successfully completes this difficult period of training. Far fewer are able to accept the challenges and difficulties that come with the life of a career soldier. But those in formation today represent disciplined, motivated, physically fit soldiers who exemplify the Army's 7 core values: loyalty, duty, respect, selfless service, honor, integrity, and personal courage. They are imbued with a warrior ethos and display the tenets of putting the mission first, never accepting defeat, never quitting, and never leaving behind a fallen comrade. This is an important day, and these soldiers can take great pride in their accomplishments. To the parents, families, and friends of these soldiers, Fort Jackson extends a very warm and sincere welcome. We are justifiably proud of our retirees' lifelong dedication to our nation and are truly honored that the next generation standing on this field have chosen to join our ranks. Please direct your attention to the left of the formation. The units marching today from your left to right are the 282nd Army Band under the command of Sergeant First Class Matthew Johnston. Graduating soldiers from companies A, B, the Battalion Color Guard, and graduating soldiers from companies C, D, and E. Identified by their distinctive headgear are the drill sergeants. These dedicated non-commissioned officers form the backbone of the Army Training Center system, selected based on years of professional competence, leadership, and years of service. These men and women undergo intensive training to earn the right to wear their distinctive hat and insignia. With the drill sergeant hat goes the important responsibility of molding civilian men and women into soldiers. The commander of troops for today's ceremony is Major Andrew Willett, who serves as the executive officer for the 3rd Battalion, 13th Infantry Regiment. He and the battalion staff are positioned on the field. The reviewing officer for today's graduation is the commander of the 3rd Battalion, 13th Infantry Regiment, Lieutenant Colonel Audrey Hurdle. On her left is Command Sergeant Major Edward Deal, the battalion's senior non-commissioned officer, master trainer, and principal advisor to the commander. The commander of troops will now bring forward the colors and persons to be honored. Competence and commitment are the hallmarks of professionalism. The soldiers and drill sergeants coming forward will be recognized for their excellence in training and duty performance and serve as examples to all. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the playing of the national anthem. It is appropriate for soldiers in uniform and all armed forces veterans to salute the American flag. We ask our civilian guests to please remove your headgear and place your right hand over your heart as our national anthem is played. Please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, you are about to witness the retirement of a lifelong soldier. All soldiers begin their journey by graduating from basic combat training. Over the years, there have been changes to how the Army conducts basic training. However, many things remain the same. It was during basic training that this soldier was first introduced to the Army values. It is where they learned the importance of teamwork and that the Army is truly a family. That sense of team and Army family is still embedded in what is done here today. Over 20 years ago, this soldier took the same oath to defend this nation that your loved ones on the field have taken. We salute this great soldier as he passes the torch of freedom along to the newest generation of soldiers, your loved ones standing on the field today. A certificate of appreciation from the President of the United States will be presented to those retiring today. It reads, I extend to you my personal thanks and the sincere appreciation of our grateful nation for your contribution of honorable service to our country. You have helped maintain the security of the nation during critical times in its history with a devotion to duty and a spirit of sacrifice in keeping with the proud traditions of the military service. I trust that in the coming years, you will maintain an active interest in the armed forces and the purpose for which you serve. Those who follow in your footsteps will draw inspiration from your commitment, dedication, and sacrifices made to ensure the protection of our American freedoms. My best wishes to you for happiness and success in the future. A certificate of retirement from the Chief of Staff, United States Army, is also presented to those retiring today. At this time, Colonel Hutton and Command Sergeant Major Oakes will recognize our retiree for their service to the United States Army. Lieutenant Colonel Robert Howley, having served honorably for 20 years of service, is placed on the retirement list effective 30 November 2025. Lieutenant Colonel Howley entered active duty in Fort Sam Houston, Texas, and will reside in Columbia, South Carolina upon retirement. His fondest professional achievement was publishing research that was used in a congressional hearing that resulted in the Defense Health Agency adopting direct access to physical therapy across all military branches. The nation salutes. Robert Hawley, Lieutenant Colonel, United States Army, retired. Please join me in a round of applause for our retiree and their families. Although newly retired, they will always be a part of our Army family. The soldiers most responsible for the training of these soldiers are the drill sergeants, who are carefully selected by the Department of the Army. The drill sergeant campaign hat and badge have been a stoic symbol of professionalism and pride since 1962. At this time, the outstanding drill sergeant of the cycle will recite the drill sergeant's creed. We ask that all drill sergeants, past and present, please stand for the reciting of the drill sergeant creed. Command Sergeant Major Deal will now present the award. The outstanding drill sergeant of the cycle for the 3rd Battalion, 13th Infantry Regiment is Drill Sergeant Justin Fuller from Greensboro, North Carolina. The soldier leader of the cycle for Alpha Company is Private Anthony Rube from Montpelier, Idaho. The soldier of the cycle for Alpha Company is Private Peyton Nelson from Amalga, Utah. The soldier leader of the cycle for Bravo Company is Specialist Tabitha Fernandez from Brownsville, Texas. The soldier of the cycle for Bravo Company is Specialist Noah Davis from Hodgenville, Kentucky. The soldier leader of the cycle for Charlie Company is Private William Stanko from Dallas, Texas. The soldier of the cycle for Charlie Company is Private Juan Algo Quibano from Puerto Rico. The soldier leader of the cycle for Delta Company is Private Bryce Rowland from Salisbury, North Carolina. The soldier of the cycle for Delta Company is Private Evan Buscato from St. Peters, Missouri. The soldier of the cycle for Echo Company is Private Derek Myers from Columbia, South Carolina. The soldier of the cycle for Echo Company is Private Isaac Akbari from Westminster, Maryland. Ladies and gentlemen, the commander of the 3rd Battalion, 13th Infantry Regiment, Lieutenant Colonel Audrey Hurdle.
Good morning. Good morning, Major General Hood, Sergeant Major Oakes, Colonel Hutton, Colonel Metters, Sergeant Major Duncan, commanders and command sergeants major, distinguished guests, families, and friends of the 3rd Battalion, 13th Infantry Regiment. Welcome, and thank you for joining us today in honoring the accomplishments of the Basic Training Class 2502. On behalf of the U.S. Army Training Center and Fort Jackson Commanding General, Major General Hood, and the U.S. Army Training Center and Fort Jackson Command Sergeant Major Oakes, welcome to Fort Jackson, where we make American soldiers. As you may have noticed when you arrived at Fort Jackson, signs along the way state that we make American soldiers. Here at Fort Jackson, we produce over 50% of the Army's throughput of basic combat trainees annually. Last year alone, Fort Jackson processed and trained over 42,000 civilians who successfully transitioned into U.S. soldiers. As the we in that statement implies, it is, indeed, a team effort to produce the finest quality of soldier that this country demands. I'd like to take a few minutes to recognize those involved. I would like to thank the 282nd Band. As always, y'all sound great. You consistently provide that touch of class and distinction to all these important ceremonies. I ask that all of you join me in a round of applause for the distinguished soldiers in the band. Since 1917, Fort Jackson has helped forge America's warrior class as it transforms civilians into disciplined, physically fit, proficient members of a team ready to fight and win our nation's wars. Today, it serves as the Army's premier training center and the largest makers of American soldiers. These soldiers, regardless of the changes of technology, tactics, strategies employed, remain the one constant of war and conflict. As such, the Army prides itself on being in the people business, and the commandos and the rest of Team Jackson are in the business of producing and developing the best people to serve as our soldiers, non-commissioned officers, and commissioned officers. I'm extremely proud to be a part of that mission, and I promise you that our future is in capable hands with the soldiers that you see standing before you on the field. They are our mission, and our mission is critical. With these soldiers assembled on the field, arrived here in February, many of them quickly realized that this might be the greatest challenge of their lives. Out of the 1,040 civilians that started, 952 soldiers met the challenge and stand before you today. Here are some interesting facts about this class. They are indeed a diverse group. The youngest soldier on the field is 17. The oldest is 44. They come from 45 different states and territories, 26 different countries, and speak 14 different languages. Many soldiers in this formation have college degrees. 39 have their associate's degree, 56 have their bachelor's, 11 have their master's, and even 2 have a PhD. 4 soldiers have crossed over from a sister service. And to you all, let me be the first to welcome you to the greatest branch of the service, the United States Army. 4 soldiers were formerly non-commissioned officers and decided to volunteer once again. And to you, we say welcome back. Lastly, we welcome 122 newly naturalized United States citizens. Thank you for your continued commitment to this great nation. Despite their unique differences and diverse backgrounds, what unites them all is that each one of these soldiers has raised his or her right hand and sworn oath to support and defend the Constitution of the United States. Please recognize these soldiers before us. That said, we must recognize that our present is shaped by our past. And I want to start by recognizing our veterans and our retirees, as we are a free nation because of the sacrifices of American service members who have fought for and continue to fight for our freedoms. Will the veterans and the retirees in the stands please stand to be recognized? To the soldiers on the field, you are now a part of their legacy, and I know you will do your best to honor and uphold that legacy throughout your time in service. Our regiment's history is rich, having participated in the battles of Hayes Bluff, Champion Hill, Black River, and on 19 May 1863, the regiment took part in the assault of Vicksburg, earning its motto, First at Vicksburg, becoming the only Union unit to plant its colors in the Confederate positions. We are proud of this history and to serve in its distinguished lineage. These soldiers in front of you today will later serve in other units with their own unique history and future story that they will one day be proudly a part of. Not unlike their predecessors, these soldiers have begun their journey of service to our nation and will contribute to the history that's not yet written. Their personal history began when they arrived here 10 weeks ago. The beginning of their training was about discipline, fitness, and confidence, becoming a soldier. They conducted countless inspections. They learned how to march and challenge themselves to improve their physical and mental fitness. Shortly thereafter, they gained trust in their military equipment by wearing their chemical protective mask in our gas chamber and learning how to accurately fire their weapons at varying distances and under stress. They gained confidence in their training, their leaders, and once again in themselves. Each completed a series of challenging yet critical Army tasks, testing their mettle and adaptability and becoming proficient in warrior tasks. They gained mental fortitude and toughness daily through physical fitness and by marching great distances under heavy loads. These tests of grit and discipline showed them the importance of recognizing your role as a member of a team and the importance of taking care of each other, because one day you all might have to. While they leaned on each other, they were led by their amazing drill sergeants. This group of hand-selected and elite experts represent the Army, the best the Army has to offer, and to train our soldiers. They serve many long days and nights, sacrificing much, but doing it out of pride and with a sense of purpose. Cycle after cycle, they arrive before the trainees wake up and depart after they only bed down. Almost all present here today, in the stands and on the field, will forget my name and will most certainly forget these remarks, but none, not one, will forget their drill sergeant. They and the rest of the 313 team know these soldiers are our legacy and must be ready to continue our mission long after we're gone. Soldiers, you've met the call to service and sacrifice that many in our country are unwilling or unable to do. Less than 1% of Americans elect to serve in the United States military, making you an elite part of the few that are willing to commit the last full measure of devotion to our service and to our nation. Take pride in that profession. Always remember you are part of a great team of fellow soldiers, serving in defense of freedom across the world. You've met the standard, and you are ready to learn your chosen crafts. While your victories may have started here, do not let them end here. Our country needs you trained and ready for any situation. Finally, remember that the price of freedom is eternal vigilance. Remain vigilant as you go off into our Army and accomplish your missions. Each is important to the success of our Army, our nation, and our very way of life. To our extended Army families, thank you again for your attendance and your tremendous support for our soldiers and the nation. Please continue to help support your new soldiers. They have become something different, something better than the once were before. They are now part of the greatest Army in the world and will forever be a part of our legacy. 40 rounds, no ground to give, and victory!
Today's soldier is above all a warrior, adaptive, confident, and competent. As a soldier, you are totally committed to the warrior ethos, grounded in Army values, and determined to destroy the enemies of the United States of America and her allies. The United States Army's Soldier's Creed embodies this commitment. To the soldiers on the field, the uniform you wear at this moment is more than an outward display of your vocational choice. Your uniform is a symbol of a nation and an unspoken assurance to all who see you that you are a willing and able prosecutor, protector of the freedoms fought so arduously for by all who have gone before and those who will bravely come after. You have become what you set out to be, a soldier in the United States Army. The Soldier's Creed is your declaration of your unshakable commitment to the ideals this nation was founded upon and will continue to guarantee. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand as Private First Class Rude presents a certificate of appreciation to the retiree and leads the soldier standing before you through the reciting of the Soldier's Creed. Please be seated. In consideration of those around you, we ask that you please remain seated and in the bleachers until all soldiers have passed the reviewing stand and the conclusion of the ceremony is announced. As you are approached by the American flag, it is appropriate to rise and remain standing until it is passed to your right. Once the ceremony has concluded, family members of awardees may meet their soldier under the canopy located to the left of the bleachers. All other family members and friends will please meet your soldiers on the field once instructed. The 13th Infantry Regiment was constituted in May 1861 when the Army expanded the regular Army during the American Civil War. During the Civil War, the regiment fought its way to Vicksburg by participating in the battles of Hayes Bluffs, Champion Hill, and Black River, taking the fight out of Confederate forces upon reaching Vicksburg. On 19 May 1863, the 13th Infantry Regiment participated on the assault on Vicksburg, thus earning its official motto, "First at Vicksburg." The regiment was the only Union regiment to plant its colors on the Confederate positions. The 13th Infantry Regiment is the only unit to be led by both General William Sherman, known as America's most aggressive maneuver commander, and General Philip Sheridan, the greatest Union cavalry officer. From 1867 to 1871, the regiment fought in the Indian Wars in Montana and North Dakota. In June of 1889, the regiment was sent to Cuba and led the 1st Infantry's attack on San Juan Hill, capturing the Spanish flag. The regiment saw action in the Philippines during the Philippine insurrection and was assigned to the 8th Infantry Division in June of 1918. The regiment found itself fighting through the hedgerows of France in July of 1944 as a member of the 8th Infantry Division and led the drive to the A River. The regiment spent 10 months in combat in northern France, the Rhineland, and Central Europe. It occupied a position on the Siegfried Line and was involved in the bloody Battle of Hergen Forest. After multiple activations and inactivations, on 27 February 1987, the 13th Infantry Regiment was transferred to the United States Army Training and Doctrine Command and reorganized here at Fort Jackson, South Carolina. Currently, the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd Battalions of the 13th Infantry Regiment conduct basic combat training at Fort Jackson, South Carolina. Passing the reviewing stand is the Commander of Troops, Major Willett, and the battalion staff. The 282nd Army Band is commanded by Sergeant First Class Matthew Johnston. The drum major is Sergeant First Class Corey Walton. Company A is commanded by Captain Jamie Chisholm. First platoon is led by Senior Drill Sergeant Elliot Pierce. Second platoon is led by Senior Drill Sergeant Jasmine Williams and is trained by Drill Sergeant Ava Walter. Third platoon, second. Fourth platoon is led by Senior Drill Sergeant Jenwon Wu and is trained by Drill Sergeant Rodolfo Soto. In the rear of the formation is the First Sergeant Joshua Kruger. Ladies and gentlemen, as a reminder, as you are approached by the American flag, it is appropriate to rise and remain standing until it is passed to your right. Company B is commanded by First Lieutenant Annalisa Campos. First platoon is led by Senior Drill Sergeant Nigel Billings and is trained by Drill Sergeant Rojan Miller. Second platoon is led by Senior Drill Sergeant Michaela Holm and is trained by Drill Sergeant Tyler Marshall. Third platoon is led by Senior Drill Sergeant Tyler Stutz and is trained by Drill Sergeant Richard Dawson. Fourth platoon is led by Senior Drill Sergeant Taylor Holm and is trained by Drill Sergeant Claire Harrison. In the rear of the formation is the First Sergeant Justin Britt. Company C is commanded by Captain Talesia Powell. First platoon is led by Senior Drill Sergeant Christina Sakari and is trained by Drill Sergeant Cameron Brown. Second platoon is led by Senior Drill Sergeant George Rosick and is trained by Drill Sergeant Pedro Iriarte. Third platoon is led by Senior Drill Sergeant Asia Cherry and is trained by Drill Sergeant Alex Head. Fourth platoon is led by Senior Drill Sergeant Talon Reed and is trained by Drill Sergeant Renee Morales. In the rear of the formation is the First Sergeant William Sanders. Company D is commanded by Captain John Escobar. First platoon is led by Senior Drill Sergeant Juanita Hughes and is trained by Drill Sergeant Sylvester Harris. Second platoon is led by Senior Drill Sergeant Ryan Christie and is trained by Drill Sergeant Joshua Brignoni. First platoon is led by Senior Drill Sergeant Elizabeth Alexander and is trained by Drill Sergeant Franklin Akbali. Fourth platoon is led by Senior Drill Sergeant Benjamin Ziegler and is trained by Drill Sergeant Jesus Barajas. In the rear of the formation is the First Sergeant Jeremy Miller. Company E is commanded by First Lieutenant Colin McAdam. First platoon is led by Senior Drill Sergeant Shoni Fryer and is trained by Drill Sergeant Michael DeLuna. Second platoon is led by Senior Drill Sergeant Tavion Dixon and is trained by Drill Sergeant Nelson Rivera. Third platoon is led by Senior Drill Sergeant Khadijah Morton and is trained by Drill Sergeant Anthony Pardarelli. Fourth platoon is led by Senior Drill Sergeant Cody Barnell and is trained by Drill Sergeant Andrew Zellner. In the rear of the formation is the First Sergeant Christopher Castro. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the Army song and please remain in the bleachers until the conclusion of the ceremony is announced. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes today's ceremony. Retirees and family members of awardees, please proceed to the rest of the weekend. We ask that you please let family members who require assistance with the use of wheelchairs, canes, or walkers to exit the bleachers first. All other family members and friends, please meet your soldiers on the parade field. We ask that you please remember to take all trash and personal items with you as you exit. Please enjoy the rest of your day. Have a safe journey home. Victory starts here. Ladies and gentlemen, as a friendly reminder, this soldier is a part of the Future Soldier program, and they got the opportunity to please over their basic training photos and graduation video reception. Please stop by the Video Roma Productions trailer located to the right of the stands and in the common area. It will be the last trailer on the left. This video will include company-specific combat training videos, as well as the graduation ceremony footage.
Oh, yun na siguro. Yun yung walay.
Go with that side.
Sige, lakad ka ng lakad para mapalakad. Kasi hindi tayo. Dito, JJ, sumingit ka na, JJ.
Sabay sila sa atin. Aha. Sabay ka sa akin, ha?
We're done already.
Oh, sorry. Sorry.
Had a big shoe. They said out over here.
Hey, Mr. Chu. How are you? Oh. 예. 끝났어. 예. 끝났어.
Hey, let me touch her.
Thank you so much.
하이.
Yes, amazing.
사진 좀 찍어줘.
사진 찍어줘? 지금?
난 핸드폰이 없어가지고.
아, 그래? 오케이.